So I'm doing this video in my underwear because no one's gonna know because I'm sitting down. I just drank a gallon of milk. And this hat has the shrinking fucking factor to it, but it's a little tight. Like me, I'm tight, but it's a good tight. But anyway, so this video is about the explanation of my UFO that well, actually two. The other night, actually it was 2 nights ago. Wait a minute, was it 2 nights ago or no? Wait a minute, it was last night, or was it? You know, I'll be honest with you guys, this was a little bit daunting to the point where it could easily cause you to forget what exact day it was on, even though it was just like the other night or something. But anyway, to be unspecific about it, because I'll be honest, when I get worked up like that, I'll forget shit about dates and shit a little bit because I'm so worked up. Anyway, I was trying to videotape this shit. It was one of those things where it was really bright, vivid colors. Now, I know there's a certain spectrum of star colors that comes out that's normal, and they can look like UFOs. Stars can look like UFOs 100%. But when you get older, you figure out what a star looks like, and you don't ever have that problem again. So what happened was I went outside and kind of like in my old octagonal forsage dark UFO video at night, that when I saw those things that kind of could have been drones, technically could have been drones that just lined up at 1 or 2 in the morning. Actually, it was like, I think it was like 10 or 11 o'clock, and they lined up in a row, and just out of the blue, and my dog immediately started barking at him. He wasn't looking at the ground, he was looking up. So I looked and I quieted my dog. But anyway, these UFOs were not just totally different. First off, I thought they were stars because, you know, stars do shoot out a lot of colors, but the colors were coming out in weird ways that almost looked like rays of blue, like ray gun type blue and stuff. And I started noticing that. I was like, wait, this isn't a corona coming off the thing. This is a bunch of different lights blinking on this fucking thing. And when I say a bunch, I mean like a large color spectrum. I don't know. I would say the color spectrum was undeterminable, actually. It's just a little bit random and hard to say, but it was hitting every spectrum I could think of, with the exception of maybe a few colors. I don't know. It's just hard to say. It just looked like it had a strange color spectrum, like a palette of weird color spectrums coming off of it. And then I knew it's, also moving faster than a star would through, what do you call it, rotation of the Earth and so forth. So I already knew that it was actually moving, but it was moving slow. And then I was trying to film it, but of course, you know, zooming on this thing, I was having problems, and I think I discovered why. You've heard it before, where people are trying to photograph UFOs, and they can actually cause your phone to not function properly, or it will just corrupt the fucking video. And I think that's what it was doing. It had some kind of block so that when my camera wouldn't pick either that, or my camera couldn't pick up the light spectrum. How about that? Maybe the light spectrum was in a field of energy that could not be detected visually through the camera lens, but only through my eyes or somebody else's eyes that may or may not be in the area. And that could vary because everyone has a subatomic nanotechnology AI system that has been built into their genetic area, but it's so small you can't detect it. And if anything needs to control you, they can. So if those ships came by, they could easily just make a setting so that if they drove by and you try to film them, that they wouldn't appear. Or they already straight up abducted you and they're now leaving the area. Now, I'm not saying I was abducted the other night, okay, but the one, because I was in the house, that, you know, nothing seemed out of nature, so I don't think I was abducted. However, I will say this. They purposely wanted me to look at them. They didn't want me to get video of them, but they wanted me to look at them. They wanted me to determine these aren't stars, and I did. But also they had a curiosity. Somebody had sent them over, another extraterrestrial said, oh, that guy's very interesting. You might want to check him out. Kind of like a tourist agency. Oh, yeah, that particular individual? Yeah, go check him out. He's pretty cool. Scan his neurology. You'll be amazed. But it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to, down shuffle everyone, but I am warlock, and we don't really normally care about human affairs except when you're a whistleblower warlock like me. I'm a whistleblower. And I am going to learn how to talk better and speak better. And a matter of fact, I already do know, but it's hard for me to conduct everyday business with a human because I have to manipulate my thinking towards a human issues and stuff like that, and it can irritate. We get stressed too. Warlocks get warlock stress though. It's a heightened stress. It's like, wow, I don't need to really be talking to all these maggots on the ground, but yeah, right on. No, I'm just saying. But anyway, those UFOs are the same thing. The beings and the shit they have on board is capable, without any beings on board. So everything about the UFO is capable without the beings on board. A lot of people don't know that. And they are warlocks as well. Now, when I said in an earlier video, all warlocks are, all creatures, life forms rather, can be potentially warlocks. I meant that because once you reach the state of sentience, you can do those things. You can surpass the sentient aspects by, advancing the sentient aspects. That's all it is. It's like a mind magnifier. That's what a warlock is. Oh, my balls. I'm sitting on my balls. Give me a break, okay? And I am not the kind of person when I'm talking to you that I'm going to sit there and placate to you. And even though I can talk to humans, and I'm very, very civil, and I sometimes can be humorous to some people, I guess maybe not to others. At the same time, I want to explain myself specifically in relation to this UFO. Okay, I've had multiple UFO events, circumstances that you could say definitely, maybe I even outdo Travis Walton many times over. Okay, but when I say that, what I mean is, as far as information on abductions go, I think I can at least state for sure I've been abducted 3 times, for sure. And I got experience, and my whole family. Well, not my whole family, but my dad, my mom, my sister, and me. All at once, the entire Jeep got abducted. How about that? Yeah, UFOs can abduct fucking vehicles and then set them back down. Now, I really shouldn't go into the details of these things because I don't have that much time. But, if they want to, they don't have to abduct you, period. They can for general information, they don't have to do a lot of things because they have the AI system, that subatomic AI system installed in you, and they can tap into it. However, once in a while, they do need to make personal contact with you and see, is this person going to be turned into a genie or something? Because they find interest in human warlocks, not souls, human warlocks. So Linda Moulton Howe, kind of got it wrong. It's not about the souls. They're the ones who made a lot of these extraterrestrials, are the ones that made your personalities. I have 9,022 personalities, and that's why I have a lot of names starting to emerge. I'm not a god or anything by any means, but I do have a lot of personality injections. So does everyone else. They just don't understand it. They call it a soul, which is a misgiving. Unfortunately, a logistics misgiving. All they have to do is think about it for a second, though. How are they able to do a lot of learning they're doing? I thought about it, and it took a lot of years to get the intuition to build up strong enough to become psychic, and then figure out, okay, I've been programmed like a robot. But it's still got some randomness and some, free will exceptions, or whatever you want to call it, quagmires, to where you can offset it a little bit. But it always comes back, because you're always bent to think a certain way. You're always bent to. Once I figured that out, and I'll tell you how I started to be a warlock. When I was a youngster, I was walking down the street, and I said, look, I am more than I am. Prove it. And I thought, how could I prove it? I brainstormed myself. I said, well, for instance, tomorrow when you're walking down this route from school, like you are right now, try to make a decision like your science teacher told you in math, your science teacher told you, not my math teacher. When you were in military school, you don't have to think about a problem if you already know the times table. He was making an analogy. He was a science guy, but he was talking about a math problem. That is part and parcel of science. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, but it was in a math class. Okay, it was a science class. He said, because you know the times table, you shouldn't even have to think about the answer. You should already know it because it's been reduced to, crunch down to where you can crunch numbers quickly on a math table. So I kind of took that as a metaphor for general thinking, how can I do something? So I was walking home and I said that to myself, what will you do tomorrow to make it different and make yourself more powerful than a human? Okay, don't think about, but just do something random and then make it happen without thinking about it. It might seem small achievement at first, but it's really a big achievement. It makes you a warlock eventually. So I did it, and that's, and maybe I was being communicated to be trained like a Jedi, or if you want to call it as another example, maybe like a Jedi. You know, I'm a good guy though. I'm a good guy. I strive for good. I'm not evil. Evil is a defect. I'm against it. So what I did was the next day I was walking home and I said, okay, I'm not going to think of anything. I just turned around and I walked towards the school again for no reason. I must have, walked 200 yards and then stopped at a bush, touched the bush, and then started walking back. When I got back, I said, okay, I did it. I didn't fucking think about it or nothing. Now, another person will say, oh, that's a psychological issue, bro. That could potentially mean you're straight up mentally ill. And no, I had planned that. That's why a lot of the crazy people out there are of high intelligence, because they're diabolical in planning, which means they're just covert. Really, it doesn't mean they're bad. Diabolical just means they're covert in planning, and it could turn out to cause harm. But no one's like me. I don't intentionally seek out harm. Now, do I bully people? I'm just going to explain something to you guys real quick. Yeah, I have some entertainment value needs as a human actor. If I'm playing a part to be human, I have to. The bathroom humor has to come in, like Trump or whatever. The straight up dirty fucking shit, if you will, a little bit of racism splashed about. I mean, if you listen to Jeremiah Green, Jericho Green, he'll tell you straight up, man, blacks are the biggest racists, and he's black. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean I'm trying to start a race, right? I don't hate on anyone. I try to be nice to everyone. Okay. But, other people will try to claim they're not racist when they are. And once you learn the psychology of dynamics within the social streams and the way people want to present themselves and the politics and the way they encourage COVID Nazis now, you'll know that you have been completely, not only hoodwinked, but you're completely manipulated. They're trying to Manchurian candidate you from an already circumstantial Manchurian candidate status, which is you are a fucking human being being controlled by other extraterrestrials, and they're trying to just work you also down here on this planet. They're just other cows trying to get a little more insight on how to fuck with the other cows.